Hello and welcome to the channel. And in this video we're going to continue our topic of loops. We'll just discuss the different loops that we have available to use in our applications and just kind of an overall of what loops are all about. So, in the previous videos we talked about the while loop. I kind of discussed it already as to how it works. The loop just will run and continue to run while this condition in the brackets here is true. So it'll just continuously go until this is now resolved to or evaluated as a false. Now the do while, we talked about that one, and it's simply, it's the same concept as a while, but with the do before it, it'll run this code at least one time, and then it will look after and evaluate this condition or this comparison, and if this becomes false, it will then quit running the code. If it's true, it'll just come back up and continuously run this code as well. So the next one we have available to us, and rather commonly used, is the for loop. Okay, so now this one is all built into one. It's kind of a pretty handy loop to use. There's really no difference in either of the loops to using them. Just it's kind of up to you, and when you think out your logic and how it's going to work, if you need to just run a loop continuously, you can use a while loop. If you're going to do at least the code one time, then you just the do loop, so your logic and your thought process will come out. So the for loop is started off with the word for, then we have brackets, then we have the block. Alright, inside the brackets here is where we set up a couple values that happen. And what you do here is you would initialize a variable. So you can say int is equal to, or int x is equal to 0. So it always has to initialize a value in here. So you don't have to have a pre-initialized variable like we had up here when running our other loops. So then we can come into here and we can say while x is less than 10, we give it a semicolon again, and then we can actually input our increment or our decrement operator, the increment operator into here, already built in one. So now this loop here is essentially going to, we'll just take this value here, we'll stick it down here. Instead of number, we can just say x, because now we're printing out this value inside. And I'd like to just point out that when we create a variable up inside this loop here, it now kind of belongs to this loop only. So you wouldn't be able to actually get the value outside of the loop. It's kind of only living on the inside of this loop when it comes down to it. So I'll just run this program now, and you'll see this one here is going to print out at least one time. We got the do while, and we actually went, it printed the 10, but then we said 0. This is the x now, and 1, 2, 3 here, and we'll actually just comment out this chunk of code real quick, just so that it doesn't get in the way. And we can just we'll just say, we'll go like this, and we'll just put a header up here in the for loop. Okay, so this is now the for loop. We can actually we could technically comment this out. We'll just comment this line. Alright, so we'll just run it, and now you'll see that the loop actually, it comes inside of here. I'll walk through it in a minute, but for loop 0 to 10. And now if you look, what's going on here is we take, we initialize a variable, we then end the statement there, we put a condition or a comparison inside of here, the comparison operator in here, and then we end that little line with the semicolon or a separator in here to kind of separate the three pieces of the loop structure. And then we have our incrementer built right into the, the full condition or the full continuation expression. All right, so it's kind of a nice one because it's all built into one. It's a pretty handy loop. Whereas up here, you kind of got to keep track of variables, and you have to create variables and have them up here ready to go. Or you could just, create the variable just above it and keep it kind of tight with the loop if you need to. But the for loop kind of builds it all into one and gives you a little bit more functionality. There's one more use of the for loop, but we're going to talk about that after we learn a couple more concepts. It would be called the for each loop, but for right now, this is pretty well all you really need to know up until this point. As we get further into the different concepts of Java, then we can bring in different elements and how these work a little differently. Right now, the for loop will kind of get you into like a little bit of, if you're maybe in school and you're at the point where you're learning about a for loop, not quite sure on how it works or how the building blocks come together, then hopefully this just kind of outlines these very small, brief examples. They just give you a little hint. We will definitely use them in programs. This isn't just going to be left to very small examples. We do have a temperature converter up here program that we've created kind of along the way as we've been building our program, and we'll implement some more of these structures as we learn a little more of them into our program as we go, and we'll create other programs here in separate tutorial basis, so you can kind of really get a feel once you've got a good understanding of each of these concepts. So for loop, pretty simple, create it all in one nice to use, quick and easy, clean code. Again, none of these loops are as you say, each one is essentially the same. The while and the for loop are like pre-evaluated, so like they get evaluated beforehand, whereas the do while is a post-evaluated one, where you get one piece of line and then it's evaluated. See, so here the logic would be, you come in here, you create X. This is only ever one time. This doesn't have to happen every time, just a single time that you're using it. Then you would come in here, X is 0, so is it less than 10? True, we'll go inside and do this. We increment it, so X is now at this point 1. And technically not at this point, it's not 1 because we do print out 0. So when we come back around, it increments it, and this is now 1. Then once we check it again, we come down, we print out that variable. It's used in the in the value. We then increment it to 2, and we just keep going until this condition now is satisfied as a true or a false condition. Once this is false, we can kick it out. There's little things that we can do when we're in here, like there's different values you can kick yourself out of these loops with. For the most part, these increment and decrement, you can then do this with the decrement counter as well, like we had up in the top. Do make sure that your statement is correct, so this would now have to be a higher number, and then we can put 0 here, and we can run this, and you'll see that it actually counts down now. As you can see, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, right down to 0. All right, so it's key to kind of think about what you're doing when you're using your loops. This is a very quick and basic examples of each of the loops, just so that you have an understanding of the structure, how they're built, and a very small explanation on how to use them. But that's pretty well what the loop is. That's not too much more I can really talk about of the loop. We can get into some more loops as we go, and you can stack these all. You can, if you need to, if you had to put the do while, and then you wanted to, you could actually use the while in there or a for loop in there. You can, you know, put a for nested inside of here. It's not really, you know, so only to one chunk of code. You know, you can take all this. If you had to run some other nested form, I can make a nested loop video, which we will. Maybe we'll just make another video for nested loops, print out the multiplication table. We could probably even do it in each form if we really needed to, because again, no loop is better or worse to use when it comes to it. The for and the while will just be up to kind of preference, and the do while will be up to when you do need to do something first and then have the evaluation created. Alright, so that's pretty well it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You know, if you have any comments, questions, or ideas for future videos, just put it in the comment section below. If you could hit that subscribe button, that'd be wonderful, and we thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.